You are listening to Viewpoints from PlaceCloud. Cultural researchers tell stories of places from around the world. For the full multimedia experience and to support the creators you enjoy, visit placecloud.io.
Tucked into the Epping Forest district in Essex is a suburban market town called Waltham Abbey. In the late 17th century, it was the site of the first official Quaker school for boys. It is not known exactly where in Waltham Abbey the school was located, but it was likely on or near Quaker Lane, where the Quaker meeting house once stood and where Quakers, members of the Religious Society of Friends, buried their dead from around 1672. When George Fox, the founder of Quakerism, established Shacklewell, the first Quaker school for girls, in 1668, he also established Waltham Abbey for Quaker boys. The school was first run by Christopher Taylor, who moved the school a bit further south to Edmonton in 1679 before he emigrated to Pennsylvania. He was assisted by his wife, Frances, and by John Mattern, a Quaker from Germany. When John Mattern died in 1680, Christopher Taylor and some of the Waltham Abbey students wrote testimonies to honor him, published in a book called The Testimony of That Dear and Faithful Man, John Mattern, who had lived 6 years and faithfully served the Lord in his vocation in the family of C.T., now dwelling at Edmonton in Middlesex. When Christopher Taylor followed William Penn to Pennsylvania, George Keith took over the Waltham Abbey School. He ran the school from 1682 until perhaps 1684, when he was appointed as the Surveyor General of the American colony of East Jersey. It is not known when the school ceased to exist. We can guess at what was taught to Waltham Abbey students, even though there is a lack of surviving documentation. From the beginning, Quakers valued a thorough, equal education for boys and girls. There was an emphasis on literacy, as it enhanced employment prospects, enabled the reading of the Bible and other approved Christian literature, and allowed for the recording of society meeting minutes. Friends were also taught foreign languages like Greek, Latin, and Hebrew in order to read religious scriptures in their original languages and to better serve themselves in an increasingly global world. Quaker education also involved a degree of manual labor to ensure that Friends were skilled with both their hands and their minds. This emphasis on foreign languages and handiwork is logical, given that many Quakers were merchants or artisans in London, part of a mercantile community that involved making and selling everything from textiles to cheese. At some point in its history, Waltham Abbey became coeducational. We know this because of the John Mattern book previously mentioned. In it are memorials to Mattern from the following students aged 10 to 16: William Pennington, Edward Pennington, John Crouch, Ezekiel Woolley, William Loosevelt, Mary Taylor, Thomas Green, Philip Diamond, John Woolley, John Butcher, Margaret Rouse, and Thomas Hudson. The inclusion of Mary Taylor and Margaret Rouse tells us that both girls and boys attended the school. Mary Taylor was Christopher Taylor's daughter, and Margaret Rouse was the granddaughter of George Fox, the child of John Rouse and Margaret Fell, who herself was the daughter of Margaret Fell Fox. William and Edward Pennington were the sons of Isaac and Mary Pennington, influential early Quaker authors. Mary Pennington was the mother of Julielma Springett, the wife of William Penn, the Quaker founder of Pennsylvania. Around 1668, Mary Pennington left Berkshire and boarded at Waltham Abbey School alongside her children, as she needed a place to live while her husband was imprisoned for religious nonconformity. Despite its importance as the earliest official Quaker boys' school, woefully little is known about Waltham Abbey. In 1668, when George Fox, quote, came to Waltham and established a school there for the teaching of boys, end quote, and that is from his own journal, he could not have imagined that more than 350 years later, we would be working to piece together its story.